Ben McKee, West Rucker, Go Vols 24/7 here inside of Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana, where Tennessee beats Kentucky earlier this evening, 78-65. We are recording this a little bit later because we just watched Houston knock off Purdue in what was a great finish to a great basketball game. It'll be Tennessee and Houston on Sunday for a spot in the Final Four. We'll have plenty of time to preview that. We'll have media late tomorrow afternoon, and we'll record another one of these previewing that matchup, which will be an absolute war. In the meantime, you look at Tennessee's win over Kentucky earlier today. Zakai Zeigler absolutely led the way. He would not be denied. He would not go out like a lot of us thought would be the case. But to me, the biggest difference, Wes, in today's win compared to those two losses during the regular season, that 2-week stretch in which they lost twice to Kentucky, was how Tennessee defended the three-point line.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's so easy sometimes to say, like, hey, just don't let them shoot a lot of threes, right? It's hard to do that because everybody wants to do that against Kentucky. Tennessee tried to do that twice against Kentucky this season and couldn't do it. Third time they got it right. And I thought it was interesting. I asked all three guys that were up on the main days and Rick Barnes, all of them, like, was this game plan different than the first two? And they said no, flat out it wasn't. They said they did not execute it well the first couple times, and they did today. So, I mean, that's one could say a bit stubborn of an approach, but hey, you can't say it was wrong because they finally got it right. They finally ran Kentucky off the line, and I tell you, Ben, just their ability to kind of put their head on people's hands and chest and not let them get close to them right now, it's pretty impressive.
Yes, I mean, tonight was a dominating win for Tennessee. And to me, kind of big picture, looking at the rivalry with Kentucky this season, tonight's performance, I believe, not taking anything away from the two wins Kentucky had, like those still matter, but tonight kind of vindicates Tennessee from those losses and validates that those were off nights, not reflective of Kentucky being a bad matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have that both ways, right? I mean, if someone like Rick Barnes and some of his players are going to be criticized for having great regular seasons and then not doing as well as you want them to in this tournament, then by the flip side, you got to say, who cares about those other two games? Could you beat them here, right? You can't have it both ways. If you're going to say that this is really all that matters, they won the only one that really mattered because they're still playing and Kentucky's not. And really, I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, I thought Tennessee could have played better, at least could have shot better. A couple things could have been a little bit better, but they were still never in danger. So many times, Kentucky's crowd, every time Kentucky did anything, that crowd tried so hard to pull Kentucky back into that game. And every time, Tennessee just put their hand on their chest and said no, or put their hands to their mouth and said shush. They controlled that game in the final 37-38 minutes.
And I think a big reason why is because of how Zakai Zeigler sets the tone for this team. I mean, he is the ultimate leader, the ultimate battle warrior. However you want to describe it, he's who you want leading your team into a war. And that's what tonight was. That's what it will be on Sunday. And just player after player in the locker room, it was all about, in terms of the preparation this week, it was Zakai Zeigler and Jemai Meshack throughout the week saying, we're not losing on Friday night. We're going to win. We're going to play clean basketball. We're going to be more locked in. We're going to get it done. And that's the tone that they came out with early on.
And I'll tell you, I'll just come out and say it. If you're going to open the NCAA Tournament in Lexington, and there's going to be pictures of you circulating that may or may not have been you giving a one-finger salute to some of the Kentucky signage around Rupp Arena, and then you got to go see those guys the next week, better win. Better back that up. By God, he did. They went out there, and he is playing point guard at a level that I don't think I've ever seen anyone play it at Tennessee. His control of the game, it's starting to become a little bit suspicious anytime somebody doesn't have him as a first-team All-American at this point. What he's doing on the floor, offensively, defensively, just the value so many times they get late in the shot clock and they're in trouble. And he just bails them out time and time again. And you know, he's shooting the ball all right too right now. So I don't know what more you could ask from the guy. I mean, he's 5'9" and he'll go out there and fight a 7-footer without flinching. He's a dude. He's a dude.
He absolutely is. And Tennessee had several dudes step up tonight. Maybe not the best night for Chaz Lanier, but he just continues to find ways to impact the game in so many different areas, even if he's having a tough shooting night by his standard. Jordan Gainey knocked down some big shots. Jemai Meshack was all over the place, as he typically is. Darlington Dubar provided some big moments, big plays. He played a lot tonight, and because he was playing so well and played with an edge to him that Tennessee needed. Cade Phillips, Felix Akpara, they were just warriors inside in the paint. Everybody that stepped on the floor tonight, they had some grit to them, and that showed in the overall team performance.
Yeah, and I thought at times really Akpara stood out to me. He's a guy who is
double-digit rebounds, right?
11, game high 11. He had 7 offensive rebounds tonight, and 7 of Tennessee's 14 offensive rebounds. And Tennessee, we go back and watch that game. There might be a few times where, sometimes it's your night and sometimes it's not. And loose balls kept popping up Tennessee's way. And you can't deny that, right? But there have been other games where you say, why can't Tennessee just get one bounce, right? Well, so you keep playing hard. You start, some of those bounces do come your way eventually. Water finds its level. So maybe they got some breaks at times tonight, but they earned those breaks. And when there were 50-50 balls, they got them. Yep. There is no 50-50 ball on the floor when Zakai Zeigler is involved. You can't go lower than him. You can't be stronger or quicker than him down there. He gets all of them. And you got Meshack going there to rip the ball away from Omari Williams and doing the stuff. He does 5 steals for Meshack. I mean, just physically, Omari Williams can be a problem. He's a very talented big man, strong, can do some things. When he gets his head down there around the rim, he's hard to stop. But Tennessee gave him that at times because they're like, we're not leaving the line, and we're going to trust Akpara and trust Cade Phillips to just contain him. And they did, and they came up with more rebounds than him too.
They did, and again, we'll have plenty of time to preview Houston over the next 24 to 36 hours.
Fight.
That it'll be. I would suggest in the meantime, folks, appreciating this for what it is. Not that you need me to tell you how to feel or what to do, but the expectation is the Final Four, but 3rd Elite Eight in program history. First time they're going back-to-back Elite Eight trips. Appreciate the good times while they're here. These are the good old times, and don't think in 10 years that's when it's time to appreciate it. You can have the expectation of making the Final Four while also appreciating them getting to this point this often under Rick Barnes.
Yeah, I mean, and if they go out in this tournament now, it would be to a higher seed than them. So they're not getting upset in this thing. That's maybe we're splitting hairs on that, but I do think that's the thing that matters, right? Because at times Barnes was criticized, fairly so in some cases, for losing to double-digit seeds in this thing. Past couple of years, it hadn't happened. They've beaten who they're supposed to beat, including a team that beat them twice in the regular season along the way, and a team that had a few more fans in here than they did tonight. And there should not have been much of a debate going into this game, but now it has to stop. Rick Barnes, at this point, is the best men's basketball coach in program history. There's no question about it. Full stop. Take every other argument, throw it in the trash can that's right here in front of us. That's where it belongs. He is the best coach that Tennessee has had in men's basketball, period. He is. It's done. That debate is over. I'm not having it anymore. I might write one column about it tonight, but then it's done. It's just a given. It's a fact, and you can either accept that or be wrong. And so that is there now. And now it's just a matter of, can they take that next step? Can they go do that? Will Zakai Zeigler get this program to the Final Four? Will Jemai Meshack help get this program to the Final Four? It'd be a great story if they did, but there's no shame if they go out at this point. It's not free money because there are expectations in this program. Rick Barnes is paid well. This is a good team. But Kelvin Sampson and those guys have been doing it a while too. They're pretty darn good. So go out there, fight them, see what you got.
The 3 teams that Tennessee has beaten so far in the tournament, Tennessee was better than throughout the course of the regular season. Houston might be slightly better. I mean, I think you have to nitpick and split hairs to determine on paper who is better between Houston and Tennessee. But Houston's the 1 seed for a reason. Tennessee's the 2 seed. But expectations are still to make a Final Four. And quite frankly, all of my eggs are in Zakai Zeigler's basket. He's gotten them to this point, and I think he's going to carry them to the promised land. But we will have plenty of time to preview that matchup. Tennessee speaking around 3:30, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Houston will speak about it an hour or so before. So we've got some work to clean up here. We're going to go sleep for at least a little while, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow with plenty of coverage of Tennessee's huge, biggest win in program history over Kentucky in the Sweet 16, and we'll have plenty of coverage and preview coverage of the Elite Eight against Houston coming up over the next 24 to 36 hours. He's Wes Rucker. I'm Ben McKee.